Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today, I have with me a group called the Ascended, who people have asked about who the Ascended actually are. Think of the Ascended as a United Nations of the angelic and heavenly realms, where there are representations from different species, from different planetary systems that have evolved their consciousness beyond the material dimension to stay conscious and aware in the immaterial dimension, not separate from this dimension, but not visibly perceivable to it unless they choose to make themselves known. But they came with a very simple and important message that you really need to hear and understand and share. Remember to like, to subscribe, to share, to follow. And what they said is change is inevitable. It is not likely. It is not possible. Change is inevitable. And I really like the way they're saying this. It's important you understand that that is the only thing that is going to be an inevitability in your life every single moment. Change. That's the only inevitability in your life. Now, they say change can be simply just allowed to happen. You can just kind of go about your day and not think about anything else, get into a routine of living and thinking and feeling and believing. And you stay within the safety or the discomfort of your belief systems, because they tell me that a lot of people are in uncomfortable belief systems, but they go through life believing that's just the way life is supposed to be. That life is not supposed to be that way. Change, because it is inevitable, is like an ocean that you need to learn to ride the wave of your creative potential. I really like that idea, that they say we need to learn to ride the wave of our creative potential. So you find yourself in your life going through your day-to-day way of being and doing, and how much of it do you question? Because whether you work 9 to 5 or you are an entrepreneur, change is inevitable. And as a species, as an individual, you have the ability and the capability to change your life as an act of your own free will. We ascended in consciousness through the spectrum of the immaterial, while not disconnecting ourselves from the perception of the material, because of the effort we took to put into evolving our knowledge, our wisdom, our understanding of consciousness and energy. Many of you get into rhythms and patterns of living, believing that those are just simply the inevitabilities of your life. But we want you to understand that change, from the perspective of any sentient being that is conscious and aware that they are aware and conscious, that you always have the capacity to initiate and participate in the act of creation individually and ultimately collectively. Because as individuals, many of you are conditioned into living and thinking and believing in very limited and archaic ways about who you are and what you're capable of. You find yourself not too happy. And not because you don't want to be happy, but because you've only been given an understanding of what change is supposed to be for you. And so change is not perceptible to you in the way that it is for others that are consciously, deliberately evolving and transforming and elevating their consciousness up, asserting their creative will to alter and change the experience of time, space, and matter. When you understand that change is inevitable, you can sit by and allow change to happen. It will affect you if you choose to try and stay safe in a belief or a set of ideas. You will not be safe for very long, as things will change around you. You look at your ancestors, whom farmed the land in great numbers in order to survive, that now very few individuals are living in the realm of farming. There's been change upon this planet alone, and many other planets are going through their similar version of what you are currently going through here on Earth. But change is not something to be left to your politicians. Change is to be developed and understood as a creative function of your existence, that you are able to precipitate transformation and change in your life. That life is not something that's going to happen to you, but that life is something that is going to happen and will always happen through you, whether you are conscious of that fact or not. Our goal in coming here today was to remind you that you have the will and the capacity of free will to make conscious and deliberate changes of thought and behavior that will facilitate a transformation of your life. Many of you have been lulled into the false sense of believing that your governments, your what you call your social safety nets, are the things that you should be depending upon. And we say that is not why you came into this dimension. You did not come into this dimension to become dependent on something outside of yourself. You came into this dimension to actualize your creative potential beyond the limits of the mind and the body system that has at least allowed you to survive for the last 12,000 years in the current iteration of what you call human society. And when we say that, we refer to the whole of humanity as a society. Because as individual cultures and religions and countries, you have very restricted and limited effects on what you can and cannot accomplish as a species. You are still quite some distance from being able to operate as a unified whole while still maintaining the respect and integrity for the individual parts. You are quite a distance from achieving that, whereas other star systems in your galaxy have already achieved great respect for individuality and general social cohesion of the whole of the species, recognizing that the functions of the individual are equal to the rights and functions of the whole itself, that both parts function equally. You could not live in that physical body you were hearing these words from if your heart stopped beating, and your heart is but one organ, one nation within your body. If we could put it that way, that every organ, every nerve, every gland in your body is like a nation unto itself, but it cooperates with every other system within the function of your biology. If you could establish the same level of functionality with each other, well, you would have a very different experience of being in this world. So you can be terrified and frightened about the idea of change. But let us assure you that change is inevitable, whether you are frightened of it or not. It is the one inevitability that none of you will escape. And that is wonderful if you can understand that you are the agent of your own change and transformation, and that simultaneously you can avail yourself of the knowledge and the wisdom of those around you who can show you stairs to elevate your consciousness a little bit higher. That you could change your thoughts. You could reduce or eliminate the detrimental effects of your past upon yourselves individually and collectively, as you do have a collective history that is like an anchor on your progression forward, that you must learn to release some of these collective emotional elements in your species. But that begins with both the individual and the collective understanding that process simultaneously. There is no one species upon this planet that will be able to take absolute control of what is occurring here. This is a dynamic, creative process in which you are all engaged. Do not fear change. You've been taught to be afraid of change because of the natural environment and the calamitous events that have occurred throughout your history. You believe, and wrongly so, that the environment is responsible for the existence of your conditions, and that is partly true. But you have not even realized the simple potential that you can affect and alter your climatary considerations on the planet. You can alter your climate collectively as a united species, harmonizing in the quantum field of consciousness to change and affect your world in profoundly remarkable ways that you have not even begun to even consider. There's but a handful of you on the planet that consider that there is a generalized field of what you call human consciousness, and the other species that are here with you, of course, that are participating in this interesting change in consciousness. And that these functions of these individuals is to realize, yes, we can indeed unify the collective field of humanity and create quantum changes in consciousness. But that must be something that each of you must first undertake within yourself. You must begin to realize you are not the limits of your thoughts. You are not limited by your circumstances. You're limited by your imaginings and your attachment to certain beliefs or ideologies or cultures. To believe that one religion or one philosophy is greater or less than another is a grotesque error that prevents you from coming together cohesively. When you understand the basic function of respect of life, then even religion could not trample on the rights of individuals, nor on entire nations, which you have observed over the last 2,000 years. Many countries have been laid to waste by the function of control and power and authority used incorrectly. But you are now in a technological age that allows you to hear us speaking through a physical body, for some of you, many hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. Your technology offers you the opportunity to get a glimpse that, in fact, that the human collective species can come together in a vibrational state of harmony. And the technological innovations that you see are signs of that process being made available to you as a collective. Now, not all of you are conscious enough or willing to change. And you may get pulled along in the wake of the forward momentum of those who recognize the inevitability of change in consciousness. The frequency shift from fear to love is underway right now. The frequency shift from fear to love, which includes the actions, beliefs, ideologies, and functions of both fear and love, are changing. As you embrace the understanding of love, not from the perspective of your secular values and beliefs, not from the perspective of your religion or your personalized philosophy, but from the rational understanding that life is sacred. All life is sacred. With that simple consideration in your consciousness, then your form and function towards yourself and others would change significantly, would they not? If you understood that all life is sacred, it would significantly change even how you would treat a housefly, or a bird, or an animal, or a tree. Understanding that life is sacred becomes the foundation for this great leap that is currently underway by these certain individuals that we have mentioned that are around this world. Understand that the collective field of humanity is necessary in order for a quantum leap in your consciousness to occur. While your politicians and religious leaders argue about what is right and what is wrong, it is important that you, the people, begin to understand that you have a significantly greater role to play than you think your government does. You've been trained and conditioned to believe that government is the source of direction that you should follow. But that source of direction that you should follow is within you and within each of you. And based on the foundation that all life is sacred. All life is sacred. Now, of course, there will be those of you that will say, well, what about those that would do harm to others? We would say, well, they are equally in the essence of the fact that life is sacred, are also sacred. And this is a very big planet you have here. You can make lots of room for all possibilities while respecting the boundaries of those individuals by providing them with a space in which they could operate and thrive in the way that they're able to. They will formulate a society, will grow and evolve based on the values and beliefs that it operates from. If the values and beliefs of a society are based in love and compassion, freedom, respect and kindness, playfulness, curiosity, innovation, a society will thrive. At the genesis of every thriving society is a vision greater than any held before by a society. A vision greater than held by any former society. But you as an individual do have a role in the planetary scheme of things, even if you believe that you are simply a drug addict or a drunkard or a man or a woman laboring daily. Each and every one of you has a contributing possibility that you may spend a bit of time each day considering what would love as a function of thought and action be in my mind? What would thoughts of love be? What would acts of love be? Every individual on this planet can weigh this consideration and find liberation through it. Because the moment you begin to shift your thought, the moment you begin to shift your beliefs, the moment you shift your actions, you begin to deliberately participate in fashioning the world around you. Just as the existing beliefs have you living as you are living right now, hearing these words. What you think, what you feel, what you believe is what is causing you to live as you live. And those are what make change inevitable. When you assume authority over what you shall think, what you shall believe, and what you shall do, then every single human being is sacred in the fact that they can participate in the function of creation deliberately and intelligently. And is that not wonderful? That no matter your position financially, emotionally, mentally, that the simple choice to consider, evaluate what is the function of love as a thought, as a word, as an action, that you can contribute to the overall well-being of humanity, and the change becomes a conscious movement in the direction of the end of suffering. As the function of love is very different creatively than the function of fear, control, power, and authority that you are still wrestling with as a species and have been wrestling with as a species for almost 72,000 years. You vacillate between your function of love and your function of fear quite frequently. And this is what creates the good times and the bad times, is you have not learned to make the distinction between what you are as a spiritual entity manufacturing a physical condition and what you are as a physical being believing you are a physical body exclusively. You do not understand the different functions of creation that these two very different states of being precipitate. Believing that you're a mind and a body restricts you to what the beliefs of are that mind and body. But understand that you are a sentient being that can alter, change, transform, transmute thought, emotion. Yes, and you can even change memory to alter future manifestations of time and space, which some of you are currently doing. But it's really important that you understand whether you choose to participate or not, change is inevitable. And the inevitability of that change will be based in what is your dominant function individually and collectively, as you cannot separate the two. As individuals, as an entire species on this planet, you are all participating in this, whether you are conscious of it or not. You cannot escape that you are contributing to what is happening in your world, individually and collectively. While the influence of some may appear to be greater than others, for example, some of your world leaders, those that are in great financial positions of power and authority, while it might appear from your perspective and even from theirs that they have some greater power than others, we would say to you that is absolutely not true. That in the smallness of your own mind, and we say that with respect, that every mind on its own is very small, but that in the smallness of the space of your own mind, you can affect this entire system of consciousness on the planet. And you are doing so whether you're aware of it or not. So do not fear change. It is an inevitability that you're all dealing with. Sometimes you will try and make it appear one way or another, but you cannot escape the reality that if you're here in this world, hearing these words or otherwise, you are a participant in this collaborative effort called the human manifestation. And that manifestation precipitates the function of what you call the planetary body Earth, as you cannot separate yourself from the source of the planet physiologically any more than you can separate yourself from your thoughts. But you can change and affect both your thoughts and your environment, which you are doing. You need to learn to do this not from the function of your fear of change, but for your desire for change. That you need to desire change. Change that is good and righteous, and begin with your own mind. If you begin with your own mind, we can assure you that what you do within yourself does indeed contribute to and affect the greater humanity. Albeit you might not be very conscious of that effect, you are indeed affecting the whole as the whole affects the part. You cannot separate yourself from each other, in other words. Nor can you escape the effects of your own causes, but you can change the causes which alter the effects. And you have many effects about to unfold that are that have been preceded by beliefs and ideas, both individually and collective, that are not necessarily beneficial for your species, but which you have the authority and ability to change, alter, and shifting the existing timelines of this planetary system. Understand that you are not here to suffer. You are here to learn the function of creation, as that is what the material dimension reflects. It is an effect to a cause. The material dimension is an effect to a cause, as the movements of these arms that we are using right now are an effect of the cause of our consciousness in motion, articulating a principle through matter. But we do not call ourselves the body. We recognize that the material realm reacts and responds. And you need to understand this too. It does not matter what your station in this world is, that each and every one of you is sacred in the very fact that you exist, that the nature and quality of your thoughts must be questioned, altered, and changed to reflect a state of being that would be more beneficent to you and your experience. Now, this is not to say that if you begin to change your thinking from anger and fear and judgment, and that the world is going to change instantaneously, but the minute you begin that process, you set it in motion. If you're going through a river on a canoe and you put a hand in the water, you can control the direction of the canoe with but a hand. Your thoughts are like this too. You can put a single thought into the waters of your consciousness and change the direction of your life, if you can sustain the function of that thought sufficient enough. If you take your hand out of the water while you're going down that river, the change in direction will cease, or at least be diminished significantly. Do not underestimate the power that you have, each and every one of you. But the movement forward in consciousness is not a matter of one group, one religion, one philosophy over another. It's either love or fear. And that every single religion, every single philosophy, every single political consideration can be classified in the function of either love or fear. What does the action that you are participating in serve? Because individually and collectively, you are directing your humanity to an experience. And that experience is inevitable, but based upon the function of the dominant state of consciousness that you choose to engage in. You did not come here to suffer, you came here to create. So when we came to this one, we simply wanted to articulate in the simplest terms the reality that you live in an ever-changing experience of time, space, and matter that's a product of consciousness of which you are a part. And that you can alter and affect the physical experience of time, space, and matter according to the nature and quality of your consciousness, the thoughts, the beliefs, the ideas that you hold in your mind that do indeed influence time, space, and matter, as equally as this body is moving in conjunction with the thoughts that we articulate through this form. So too does every thought in your consciousness articulate subtle changes in your experience of existence. Change is inevitable for you. And you have the capacity and the innate will to evaluate and consider the nature and quality of your thoughts and the changes that those thoughts will bring forth in your life. Anger, judgment, fear, guilt, shame precipitate very precise and measurable experiences, not only in the environment around you, but even in your own immediacy of your physiology. If you think a frightening thought, then your physiology will react to it. You must understand that your thoughts, your emotions, and the experience of the past left unedited and unchanged will result in certain experiences being part of your biological and material paradigm. But you cannot make the whole greater than the parts. We cannot make the heart in this body less important than anything else. The whole of this body is essential for its function overall. And so too is the function of your species on this planet, in this physical dimension, in this learning curve of creation that you find yourself. Change is the only inevitability of your existence here. Change is the only inevitability of your experience here, and you have the authority and the will, if you so choose, to assert it and develop it, to hold your mind fast to considerations, ideas, imaginings that would indeed result in a beautiful outcome for your species. But nobody can do it alone. What is happening requires everybody be involved, and those, of course, that do not wish to be involved will either sit on the sidelines and experience what you would call the sport of humanity, or they'll simply get washed away by the unwillingness to change and grow and develop with the shift in consciousness that's currently underway in your species. So these dichotomies you have of religion and politics have been a source of great delay for your species. One of the reasons why you are not part of the galactic community in the fullest sense of that term is because you are unable at this point. Well, we should not say unable, but you've been unwilling to cultivate the will sufficient enough that you would support all those around you in the function of love. Too many of you are based in the experience of control and power and the lustfulness of having stuff and things to make yourself feel more powerful and stronger by having stuff. But we can assure you, when the time of that physiological experience that you call your life ceases to be, you will not have any of those things anymore. They will be unimportant. They're not as important as the shift in consciousness. That is an opportunity for all of humanity to experience this state of transcendence, which will indeed allow you to interact with us, all of you, directly. That the pathways for communication to many dimensions of experience, knowledge, and wisdom is within you. But without the will, without the mind, without the body developed properly, it becomes very difficult to hear what you cannot hear and see what you cannot see. But we can assure you there are these other dimensional realms that exist. You live on 3 of them yourself. But change is the only inevitability that each and every one of you will experience here. So that was their message today. I want to say thank you to the Ascended for coming, and I like the way they describe themselves as a United Nations of all the different planetary species and ascended masters that have existed, that have transcended physical time, space, and now have the fun of interacting with it from that perspective. Good morning, everybody. If you've liked what you've heard today, please remember to like, subscribe, share, follow, and tap the screen if you're on TikTok, or give it a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Let the world know that it's literally like the 3 musketeers on this planet, all for one and one for all. The individual and the collective are equally important, and we need to balance them asynchronously with love and not fear. Right now we got love and fear kind of competing with each other on what's happening. Good morning. Hi, Kimberly. Good to see you. Good morning. I'm back. Hello, Drusilla. Welcome back. Glad to see you. Saw beautiful bears so close. No aggression. Yeah, bears are pretty amazing when they're not hungry. Remember, instinct is a very powerful force. A lot of people don't realize that you have instinct in your body. Your body's an instinctual organism, and it's based in fight or flight. And bears are wonderful creatures. All animals are wonderful when they're not hungry. But bear's hungry, and you're on the menu. You're there, right? So every animal is a beautiful thing, but most animals are run by the body exclusively, and a lot of human beings, unfortunately, are run by the impulses of their body and not by the reason of their soul. But I'm so happy. I wonder where'd you go to see the bears? Was it in Arizona by any chance? Just curious. Where did you go and see those bears, Drusilla? Good morning, Kimberly. Hi there, guys. Can Spirit tell me who is sending the hateful texts to my husband, causing him anxiety, please? This is not about the person who's sending your dear one these messages. This is about your husband surrendering any fear of anyone or anything, surrendering his fear. One can choose to live with a certain emotion, or one can learn to transform a certain emotional quality. You must understand that the function of emotion is the movement of your personalized energy in motion in your life as your experiences. Have your husband sit, and from whomever these messages are coming, simply send out the vibration. No matter what I think or feel or believe, I send you love and grace. Tell your husband this. He may think it's strange at first, but tell him this. Whoever is sending these, I give them love and grace. Remember, every human interaction consists of two primary functions of being. Every human interaction is either an extension of love or a call for love. So this individual that is sending these messages is one that is calling for the vibration of love. What you perceive as violence and aggression is really an aspect of self seeking to be loved because it does not have that within itself. So have your husband transmit love to that person in the way that he can. Of course, your mind will say, why should I transmit love to this person who is sending these hateful messages? Do you not remember what your great master said? Love those. Love those. He's here now. He's here with us. Love those that disrespectfully treat you. Wow. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Amanda, William, I had uncontrollable tears of joy during my meditation this morning. May I have a message for this? Thank you very much. Yes. I'm getting goosebumps. I got Master Jesus just coming in and sending his love and grace to you, that you're now shifting from the personal to the divine. You're shifting your consciousness from the personal to the divine. You're now incorporating the higher functions of bliss. And with the higher function of bliss comes higher functions of knowledge and wisdom and ability. Enjoy that, dear one. Thank you, Amanda. Great question too. Hey, Con, good to see you this morning. Wonderful you're able to be here. Hello. Any insights on the name? Any insights on the name Anu? I had a spirit visitation who said this was this name to me. Again, when I feel the energy of Anu, it's a very ancient energy. It's been around for many of the last 30 civilizations that have occurred on this planet since 72,000 years ago. There's been 30 significant civilizations have risen and fallen in the last 72,000 years, of which archaeology has only found a small handful because, again, control and power prevent a lot of knowledge being released to people. But the name Anu, this at the source of this is a profound light. That I can tell you. They're saying to me, there is a profound source of light within the vibration of that name. And to contemplate that source of light will be very beneficial for you, especially in your meditation. Do not get caught up in the surface nature of the phenomena of the word, but the source of the word. Experience the source of the word and not the phenomena of the word, which is what you are asking us to define, the phenomena of the word. We would say, go to the source of the word, which is the light. We do not speak about your human conceptions of such things as the light that you refer to as Lucifer, nonsense like that. We refer to the one great light that lives in each and every heart of every living sentient being throughout all of creation in this dimension of time, space, and matter that you are currently a part of. Right? Hi. Oh, you're very welcome, Amanda. Hello, Pamela. Hello, William. Did I have parasites and are they gone? Yes, and no. The reason they're giving you two yeses is yes, you had parasites. Yes, you're getting rid of some of them, but no, they're not all gone. Again, there's some wonderful people on the planet that are doing great work in helping people rid their body of parasites. We are living in a parasitic time of human collective unconsciousness. There are demonic, you have to understand, there are good and evil forces. There are people, human beings, that are possessed by demonic forces. People in very powerful leadership positions that gain great advantage, physically speaking, over the world, but they lose themselves as spiritual entities. Many think that you gain the world, you're going to be a better, more powerful person. You're not. Anyway, yeah, you want to look up some of these people, Pamela. I was actually looking at one last night. I can't remember her name. She's a wonderful medical doctor, and she's doing great things for her patients to remove parasites completely from their bodies. And you should be doing that every 6 months anyway, a parasite cleanse. Right? Everybody should be doing a parasite cleanse every 6 months. Oh, you're very welcome. Tiffany's asking, can spirit give me advice on what will show me specifically how to love myself more? Well, what they teach me and what they teach all of us through our master classes is that there's 3 fundamental things you must learn to do if you're going to raise your vibrational state from fear to love. The first thing you need to learn to do is to take dominion and authority over your mind and body. Those are the first 2 things you have to take care of, your mind and your body. Are you giving your body the right food? Are you monitoring and correcting and only allowing your mind to think thoughts that you want to become part of your material experience? And thirdly, meditation. And again, in our masterclass series, they walk us through the process. You get to go through the process of the ascended masters, and or at least the beings that come present with us, on how you, in a learning environment, can cultivate and develop your mind and body in a whole new way. We have a wonderful woman named Rita Mustafa, who is a holistic nutritionalist, and she works in guiding people on how to raise the vibration of their body by changing and altering the types of foods and substances that they put in their body. So you want to elevate the energy of the body, change its frequency. You do that through proper eating, exercise, movement. There's different things you can do to elevate the vibration of the body. Secondarily, learning to teach your mind how to be quiet. Because most people's minds go all the time. Some people try to take Xanax and pills and stuff trying to shut their mind up. And you don't have to take pills or drugs to shut your mind up. You can learn to teach your mind how to be still. And you'll learn that if you want to come and join us in our masterclass, which has limited seating. The date's going to be adjusted from October 10th. I think we have to move it subsequently. I had forgotten that we were moving to a new location on the 10th of October. So I will make those adjustments today. But please understand that those 3 things, elevating the energy of your body, taking authority over your mind, and then communing with your source, learning how to connect to the divine. What makes you you? Where did you come from? What beats your heart? What digests your food? What intelligence is that? And can you get in touch with it? And yes, you can. They'll teach you that. Thank you for that super chat, Kimberly. Really appreciate it. William, is there a message for me today? I got that Monty Python song coming up to my mind, Kimberly. Always look on the bright side of life, particularly today. That's what I'm being told to tell you. Like, really look at that. We already know that you do that to a great extent, but can you go a little further with it? Can you go a little further with that? I know there's great things happening in your life, as there are great things happening in many people's lives. So Pamela, Drusilla put a note here for you, Dr. Lee Merritt, in terms of dealing with parasites. Really great. But yeah, Tiffany, you have to learn those basic things, how to love your body, how to take care of your mind. Most people think they are their mind. Most people think my thoughts are me, my feelings are me. No, you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings. You're a soul that has thoughts and have feelings that were given to you by the world, and you have to learn to take authority over it. Most people don't. Right? That's part of the reason humanity's progression into divinity has been being slowed down. It's because too many people are attached to limiting thoughts and beliefs, and therefore unable to articulate their creative potential through that quagmire of thought that's not so pleasant. Question. My husband and I have both been having extreme exhaustion. Is there any message on this? You need to do like a serious electronic detox. That's what I'm being told to tell you. You need to do a serious electronic detox, which means put your phones down, turn your lights and power off, get away from the electrical intrusions that you're exposed to all the time. I know that one of the reasons you enjoyed your trip so much is because you did get away from a lot of that influence, and that's why you enjoyed it so much. Is because you were getting detox from the electric. But that's what I'm being told to tell you. the exhaustion of the electrical intrusion on the human biological system is pretty pronounced. And unless you've got a really, really well-balanced, healthy constitution by what you eat, what you think, whether you meditate or not, your body will be amenable and subjective to what's happening on the planet today energetically. And a lot of people aren't. A lot of people are electromagnetically toxic from their computers, from the cell phone towers, from engines and motors and everything happening around you. You need to go out and ground, spend time on the earth. 15 minutes every day is recommended. You're welcome, Kimberly. Yeah. Hi. Thank you so much. Can you see what's causing the clots in my body? Yes, I'm not a medical intuitive, and I'm being told I cannot disclose that information to you directly for various reasons. What I can say to you is the amount of water that the human body needs is significantly more than what people would generally tell you. And that without water, your body has no way of properly eliminating things from the system. Not to mention with water, proper salt for your body is very important. Proper salt for your body. Not table salt that you buy that's iodized. Proper salt, real salt, or Celtic sea salt, or true pink Himalayan sea salt. These things need to be taken with your water. Remember, if you got clots in your body, it's because there's nothing eliminating. It's like if you look at a stream of water that's got little or no flow, it's kind of sludgy. It doesn't do much. It looks yucky because there's no flow. But you see a river that's flowing. It's clear. It's crystal. It's flowing. So you need to allow that system of your body to naturally, in a practical way, flush out all those things from the body that needs to be flushed out. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, but that's what I'm getting to give you right now. Right. Hi, thank you so much. Oh, you're very welcome. How someone's asking here on TikTok. Oh yeah, for those of you that want a reading, if you want a reading, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. You can book a reading there, half-hour, 1-hour session. I recommend 1 hour because the greatest transformation will happen in your consciousness when you connect to your guides, your angels, and the other beings that work through me with anybody that comes. Will literally change your mind and change your body and change your life. Like, it's an amazing thing. So you can do that too. Rather than just having 1 or 2 questions, you can get 10 questions answered in the span of an hour, and a wealth of information that you cannot get from any other source in your life right now. Right. You're very welcome. Hi. How someone's asking here, how I loved myself was accepting myself at core level, no people pleasing, being authentic. That's correct. Well, there's nothing wrong with being agreeable in the right situation and circumstance, right? People pleasing is very different than being agreeable. I hope you understand the difference between that. That's a very important consideration. Thank you for sharing that. Authenticity is that's true. They're now saying that authenticity is the highest vibration a human can live in. I don't believe that completely, unless that authenticity is the authenticity of being the source of what you are, that you are literally in union with the divine as Master Jesus, as Moses, as many of these ascended angels and masters have aligned themselves to the source of their life. Imagine that, being connected to the divine source of life. It's a very different realm of being, right? It takes a lot of work and practice. You're very welcome. Is the master class online? The master classes are held live online. Each master class lasts 3 weeks. They start from a Sunday, they end on a Friday, every single week for 3 weeks, with the exception of the first day, which is the orientation that happens on a Saturday. The goal of each course is to move you gradually, is particularly on Masterclass 101, Awakening introduces you to concepts like how to begin the process of healing your body, how to begin the process of healing your mind, how to begin to understand the awakening process. What does it mean to awaken? You hear the term a lot, awakening, we're awakening, we're awakening. Awakening is becoming conscious and aware that there's an infinite intelligence within you that you're part of, that you can learn to use that connection to that infinite intelligence and manifest a creative expression that you couldn't manifest without understand that connection. So you're no longer just bound by what you've been taught to think, feel, and believe. You transcend that. And awakening is about getting to that awareness of knowing the divine within you, that God, the creator, is in you, with you at all times, that you can use your relationship with it to create a very wonderful world and life for yourself. But awakening is literally that process of getting to the realization you're not your body, you're not your mind, you're not your emotions. You have a body, you have a mind, you have emotions, you are a soul. And when you know that you're a soul, you can change your mind, you can change your emotions, and you can change your body. But until you know that you're not your mind, you're not your body, you're a soul, you will be bound by what you think, feel, and believe as what the world has given you. But yeah, the classes are 3 weeks long. There's one live event, one 1 to 2 hour live event every single day from Sunday to Friday. You'll be working, I'll be working with my guides, angels, but you'll also be working with two other mediums and our holistic nutritionist that will guide you in the process of how do you begin to sense the energies of your loved ones, your guides, your angels. How do you begin the process of connecting to the divine within yourself? How do you truly shift yourself away from fear back to love? Because love is your natural state. You were born in love. And everything that's happened from the time you're born has conditioned you to be further away from that. But thank you for asking about that. If you want to know more about the course and class, because there's many other things that we do in there to help you connect to your guides and angels, but you can go to WilliamMichaelForbes.com and you'll check out the courses there. Remember, the date on the Masterclass 101 will be changing today. Yes. Please, will I receive my settlement around the time I'm expected? You already know the answer to that, Lindsay. The answer is absolutely yes. Let go of any residual fear you have. Let go of any celebrate, delight in your receiving it now. You eradicate from your mind anything less than that. Do not allow your mind to indulge in, oh my goodness, it might not work out. Do not allow that, because you will experience that. You experience what you think, because what you think creates. Well, hi. Good morning, Daniela. Daniela's asking, should I be concerned about the vein appearing yesterday out of the blue? Not concerned. It's to remind you that there's a new flow happening in your life. There's a new flow happening in your life. That's what I'm being told to tell you. That represents that there's a new flow happening in your life. Do not let fear get in the way of that flow. I like that. That's really cool, Daniel. Thu is asking on YouTube, good morning, William. I am having trouble falling asleep at night. Any advice? Thank you. When I tune into my guardian angel, John, he says 3 things you need to do as you're lying in bed. Breathe slow. Make the body breathe slowly. When you're lying in bed, breathe slowly. Slow your breath down as much as you can without creating stress, but slow the breath down. You want to slow the breath down so it begins to resemble what your body would be breathing like when it's asleep. Slow the breath down to the rate of the breath of sleep. Secondarily, while you're slowing the breath down, you need to communicate the following message to your mind. You are safe. Be still. I am with you. You are safe. Be still. I am with you. And you need to repeat that to your mind. But make certain, because what tends to happen is people will get the slow breathing underway, and then they get up to the mind and they start getting caught up in the thoughts again. You have to realize you have to communicate to your mind, be still, you're safe, I'm with you. And you stay in that thought. Don't change that thought. Just keep giving that thought. Anytime any fear or emotion comes up, any anxiousness, simply communicate. You're safe, be still, I am with you. And those 2 things will begin the process of helping you sleep a lot better. Please come back and leave a comment under the video when you have a chance about what your experience is. Again, after tonight, you'll have a system now that will let you sleep much better. A lot of people don't know they can control their thoughts. They believe they are their thoughts. They're the way I think, the way I feel. Most people are stuck in that. Don't be stuck in that. Hi. Is it better, someone's asking here on Dylan, hi Dylan, is it better to avoid the drama of the world or to test your ability to observe and not absorb drama? This is a great consideration, Dylan. But rather than just observing, transmit love. Like literally, you're a divine entity. Every single human being is a product of a divine consciousness. So rather than ignoring the drama and stuff, take a moment to transmit love to it. Just say, I transmit my love to this and allow my love to do what my love can do. And then let it go at that. So in that sense, you're literally being detached from the drama, but you're asserting a different influence upon it. Don't think that the boundaries of your body restrict you from influencing world events. Don't believe that the boundaries of your body prevent you from affecting the people that are around you. You don't have those boundaries. Your body has boundaries. The surface of the skin is the boundary of the physical body. But your awareness transcends that. So you can move energy of love and compassion and peace out from your body to other places, peaceful spaces and time. You can affect so much more, Dylan. You really can. You can affect the drama with your love and grace and bear witness. In that sense, watch what happens. I'm going to spend 5 minutes sending love to that person or that event, and then watch what happens. Because once you start to get empirical evidence that your thoughts and emotions, when transmitted, cause effects in time and space, wow. Just imagine that if people actually understood that their thoughts and emotions create events in their lives, then people would be a little bit more mindful of what they would think and feel, because thinking and feeling creates experiences. Right? Thank you for that question, Dylan. Really good. Thu said, thank you, William. I'm crying now. Wonderful. Remember that. Your mind and body depend on you. So many people depend on their mind and body, but your mind and body have been constructed by the world. Your mind and body have been made up by the world. What it's been eating, what thoughts you've been given by your environment. And your mind and body need you to take care of them, not the other way around. You're waiting for your body to feel better, but you're shoving your McDonald's and your Coca-Cola and you're shoving your body full of toxic stuff and expecting the body to feel better. The body and mind need you to take care of them, not the other way around. So go run with that one, Dylan. Have fun with it. Let us know. Hello, Evelyn. Welcome. Hi, William. Do you see why I have a problem sitting down myself to meditate? Evelyn, come and take Masterclass 101 Awakening. By the end of that 3-week class, you will be able to meditate like you've never meditated before. And we've had people come into our course and say, I've never been able to meditate my whole life. It's just blah, 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 blah. And now they're meditating. Some of them are meditating 2-3 hours a day and getting blissed out by connecting to their source and changing their lives. Because until you can change your mind and your emotional energy, your life will not change. Until you can change your thoughts and your emotional energy, your life will not change. And if you can't teach your mind and body to be still, quiet, and peaceful, it will run you automatically based on the information that's been given to it, the beliefs you've been taught from the environment, what other people are telling you or teaching you now. So, Evelyn, sign up for Masterclass 101 Awakening. The date will be adjusted today, probably be 1 or 2 weeks later than what it's scheduled for on the website right now. I'd forgotten that we had to actually make a move that day. Silly me. That's a William thing. Oh, you're welcome, Daniela. Thank you so much. Hi. You're very welcome, Robert. How much for one question? Well, if you if you go to my, I've taken down the link tree link. You can use my, okay. What can I do here? Search William Michael Forbes online and you'll find my link tree under William Michael Forbes. Find my link tree, click there, and I've got a tip jar on my link tree, and you can use that tip jar and offer a tip for your question, right? Or if you want right now, you could send a tip to my my PayPal using my name, William Michael Forbes, on PayPal. Use my email address, williammichaelforbes59@gmail.com for PayPal, and you can send a small tip, and your question will be answered that way. Yeah. Hi. But I'll tell you, getting a full half-hour or 1 hour reading is life-changing. Virtually every person that's ever come to get a reading from my guides and angels and the ascended masters that work with me, virtually everybody's come has either taken the courses or gone on to do really wonderful things with their lives, right? They go to a whole other level of being. Do I hold fear in? Bones still? Thank you. Yeah, learning to let, like you literally have authority over the molecules in your body. That's why you can move a hand. Trillions of molecules in here, and I'm controlling them. You have the ability to control all of the molecules in your body. You're doing it all the time, whether you're aware of it or not. But you can control all the molecules in your body. Every one of you can do that. You're doing it all the time, whether you're aware of it or not. So yeah, if you're still holding fear in the molecules of your body, you can literally release that fear. And we've watched it. I've watched it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Well, thousands of times over the last 7 years, where people come into the classes or they come in for a reading and they're taught something that's right for them and it's very simple. And all of a sudden they're completely free of their fear. Completely free of their fear. You can release fear out of the molecular system. You can release fear out of the cellular system. You can release fear out of the mental system. You are a soul. You have a mind, you have a body. You are not the mind, you are not the body. You need to learn to reclaim autonomy and authority over your mind and body and stop giving that autonomy to the world around you, because you're never going to know yourself if you keep letting the world dictate what you're going to think, what you're going to feel, what you're going to believe. You're never going to know yourself. You'll know what the world tells you to know. Conventional education has done great harm to humanity in so many ways. It's trying to create cookie cutter human beings for the sake of a workforce. And it's really stunted the human potential. And that's going to change. It's going to change very soon. Yes, that's right, Drusilla. Best, most personal reading I've ever had with William. Thank you so much. Hi. Thank you for the hearts, Kathy. Does that say 21,000 likes? My goodness, you got 21,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you so much, everybody, for contributing that and supporting the channel. Because, you know, when you do that, you give the algorithm the impetus to share this information out with more people. And this is a really important time for us to awaken. We are in the Great Awakening right now. All of us. Hi. Someone saying, yes, thank you so much. Yeah, that's an important piece, isn't it, Iris? That you have control over all the molecules. If you realize that, most people let thoughts that they've been given control their mind, control their experiences. But yeah, in any of our master classes, you will learn to meditate. You'll learn to connect to your guides and angels. You'll learn to connect to the God within you that's beating your heart right now. You'll learn to reinvent yourself in the simplest and easiest ways I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I'm honored and privileged to be the vehicle for a lot of this information coming through as it is right now to you guys. I can't take ownership of this in that sense, but other than the fact that it comes through me, I own it in that sense. Yes. What message does my parents have for me? Don't be in a hurry. That's from the male father. Don't be in a hurry. Period. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You're very, very welcome, Dylan. Yeah. Everybody has some degree of fear they're holding on to. Like, I kid you not, in our masterclass series, you're in an intimate, profound environment, and we do have limited spaces in our courses. So you really want to get in there sooner rather than later. It's a very synergistic thing when you're in an environment where people have the one goal of being free of their fear, being free of anger, being free of guilt, being free of shame, connecting to a higher power within yourself. You know, AA and many other programs address that consideration, connecting to a higher power. Although I'm not AA affiliated, I know many people have been involved in it. The goal of the masterclass is to elevate people back to the awareness of what you are as a sentient being, as a soul. that you're here fundamentally to learn the practice of creation in time, space, and matter, to learn the practice of creation over time, space, and matter. Think about that. You got control of all your molecules. Even your heart, you can affect the molecules in your heart. You can affect the molecules in your nerves, your organs, and your glands, just like foods and things you do or don't do with your body can affect the molecules in your body. It's a really simple concept, isn't it? Hi, you're welcome, Susan. Hello, is that Lisa? We hold the power over our body's heart and mind. Thank you. It's absolutely true. But everybody holds that power, but most people don't know they're holding it. They believe their mind is holding the power, or a politician is holding the power, or money's holding your power, or somebody you love is holding the power. A lot of people believe that power is not in themselves; it's outside of themselves, and those are the people that are suffering the most. People that suffer the most are the people that believe that their happiness and fulfillment can only come from outside of them. And that's a very difficult place to live. I lived that way for many, many years, doing many terrible things and not being a very happy person for a long time. Yeah. Drusilla just wants you all to know that these courses are life-changing. And they truly are. Don't spend another year, day, week, or month living in the rut of emotions that you probably didn't even choose to have. Emotions that were probably given you by television or radio or your parents or your teachers. Or you just accepted some ideology from somebody without ever questioning it, and you find yourself unhappy. You don't have to live that way anymore. Don't waste another precious moment of your beautiful life. Please. You have something to contribute here just by becoming yourself. Thank you so much for tapping. I really appreciate that. Like I said, it tells the algorithm, it gives people access to this information that won't normally have it. Right? Thank you so much. My brother had to fix his route after he got back from South Korea. It was going to be 17,000. Fix his roof. Okay, well, wonderful. He won't have to fix it for a long time. That's wonderful. Seeing my birthday dates a lot. Why? Because you need to go back to the genesis of the birth, where you were in consciousness at birth, where you all were in consciousness at birth, was at the perfection of love actualized at the moment of existence coming into this world. You were in the state of pure being, unencumbered by any fear or desire, simply in the state of being. If you achieve that state now and understand that that state of being with no thought involved is the genesis of all creation, that in the place where your mind is quiet is where you can assert a function of creation over time, space, and matter. Oh, thank you, John. My guardian angel John just said that. That's really cool. Hi. And thank you for being a subscriber on my TikTok channel and my YouTube channel. I really appreciate whatever support you guys give. And those of you that have been with me for the last 7 years, thank you so much for your support. You have no idea what it means. My Patreons, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's such a blessing. Yeah, it's a really important time for you to realize what you're actually contributing to. You're contributing to the shift in human collective unconsciousness from fear to love. And that's what my personal function is now, to allow the wisdom, knowledge, and information to assist humanity in that direction to the best of my ability, to allow human collective consciousness to shift from fear to love, which will change everything in this world, right? When you understand what the true essence and meaning of love, you don't need a religion to define your love. If you are being what you truly were made to be, because your true function, the true source of your life is love. Life is love. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for telling me about about magnets. I found my magnetized crystals. Good for you. Well, folks, it's been a real blast today. I've got other errands in the world. Again, for those of you that have already registered for the 101 Awakening course, the dates will be changing. You'll be getting all that information by the end of today, and we're gonna have an amazing 3 weeks together when you really get to know and experience yourself, not through the window of your mind, but through the window of your soul. You're going to find something extremely remarkable about yourself. I want to repeat that. When you start to see yourself no longer through the mind, but through your soul, you'll realize just how incredibly remarkable and exquisitely beautiful that you are in this manifestation that we call life. And I'm really grateful that you are here. And thank you for your support. The ways you can support this channel, you can certainly become a Patreon and come and join our monthly events on the 7th and 21st of every month. You can subscribe to my Patreon. You can offer support through my Linktree link. I will be enabling memberships on YouTube shortly. But mostly, thank you so much, all of you. I love you all. I appreciate your support. And I want to wish you a wonderful and a most joyful day. And I'll talk to you soon. I want to say again, thank the Ascended, Master Jesus, and others that were present with us today. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.